Welcome to the Nusenda Credit Union Seating and Selection Show for state baseball and softball. We want to give some shout outs to some teams we know are watching. Dexter Softball, glad you're here. The Estancia softball team, welcome to the party. East Mountain Baseball is having their own party to watch. We'll get to your name shortly, don't worry. La Cueva is at a gathering watching right now. Welcome, Bears. El Dorado Baseball, how you doing? Magdalena Baseball is also dialed in. Cibola Softball is out and about waiting to see who will be in their quadrant to play. West Las Vegas is out there eating hot dogs and hamburgers at a watch party hosted by Coach. Hey, save me one of each, by the way, okay? Welcome to all watching. Thank you for joining us. On this show, we will release the brackets for all classes in baseball and softball. Are you ready for that? But before we get to that, we always like to remind everyone how the seating and selection process works. I'm sure you know the deal by now, right? But let me go over it again for anyone who's new. The seating process is not the NMAA sitting around in a room randomly deciding who should be the number 1 seed, 2 seed, et cetera, et cetera. It is not that. We all know that, right? What it is a process that is all data driven. The following criteria is used to determine a team's seed. We look at finish in regular season district play, max preps rankings, overall record, wins against district champs, regardless of class, member school input, that's the coach's input and their rankings, and any head-to-head matchups. These schools are compared to one another with each of those criteria points, and the seeding is determined like one big math problem. It's all based on the numbers and data. In the event of a tie among those criteria points, head-to-head will be used to break the tie. If there's no head-to-head competition or the head-to-head competition is tied, then max prep strength of schedule will be used to break the tie. There is no input given by NMAA staff. Let me repeat that again so everyone hears it. No input by NMAA staff. It's all data-driven based on those criteria points. Did you beat a district champ? Did you have a better record? Were you ranked higher? All of those things. There is no bias for or against any school or team. Now that you understand how it's done, let's get to it. You clicked on this show to see the brackets, right? And that's what we are here for, to deliver to you. We will start with softball. Ladies first. The number 1 team in the first bracket of the show goes to the Estancia Bears. Congratulations, Estancia. I know they are watching. They are on a 20-game win streak. Estancia has never won a state softball title. Let's look at the bracket. Estancia, Loving, Lordsburg, and Rehoboth Christian are your top 4 seeds. They all get a first-round bye. Raton is the 8 and Mesilla Valley the 9. Laguna Acoma is the 5 seed and Eunice the 12. Hoso Academy earned the 6th spot with their solid season this year. They will face Jal, the 11 seed. Mora is the 7, and Capitan the 10. Now, the winner moves on to face 3-time defending state champ Loving, who is going for 4 in a row. Lordsburg is the 3 seed. They are led by Valerie Guerrero, Sofia Jimente, Ava Trujillo, and Haley Whitted.
They always get nervous for the big games. I always tell them don't make it bigger than it is. Just treat it like another game. And oh no, it's a district game. Oh no, it's a state game. It's just treat it the same. That's the biggest thing, is just getting them to relax.
Remember, this year's softball format is a little bit different for Class A, 2A, and Class 3A. Play-in games and first-round games will be held on Wednesday, May 7th at the home sites of seeds 1 through 4. So the number 1 seed will host the 8-9 game, the 2 seed will host the 7-10 game, the 3 seed will host the 6-11 game, and the number 4 seed will host the 5-12 game. This structure replaces the previous model where all 12 teams traveled to the metro area for the entire bracket. We hope this new format offers an efficient path into bracket play. On to the Class 3A bracket. The number 1 team in this year's group heading into the postseason is the Dexter Demons. Dexter comes in with an impressive 23-2 record. Their only losses are to Lovington and Albuquerque High. Dexter last won it all in 2021. They know that being number 1 comes with a target.
Yes, that's the number 1. You do have the X on your back. Everybody wants to beat you, everything like that. But like I said, our girls are up to the challenge and doing a heck of a job.
Let's look at the 3A bracket. Dexter awaits the winner of the Tularosa and Tohatchee matchup. They are the 8 and 9. Robertson is 5 and Wingate the 12. The winner moves on to face St. Michael's the 4. Defending state champ West Las Vegas is the 3, and they will take on either the 6 Navajo Prep or the 11 Hatch Valley. Cobre is your 2 seed, Ruidoso is your 7, and Santa Fe Indian School the 10. Little explanation here. Once we reached the 4 seed, there was a 4-way tie. St. Michael's won that tie, so they earned the 4 seed. St. Michael's and Robertson were tied in district, and St. Michael's beat Robertson in head-to-head and criteria points, so Robertson was the 5. But there was still a 3-way tie between Navajo Prep, Ruidoso, and Tularosa. Navajo Prep came out on top, so they were the 6. Then with a tie between Ruidoso and Tularosa, Ruidoso is the 7, and Tularosa the 8. The 4A and 5A softball brackets are a little bit different too this year. The top 4 seeds will host a quadrant of the bracket on Friday, May 9th and or Saturday, May 10th. For example, the number 2 seed will host a game between the 2 and 15 seeds, and they will also host the game between the 7 and 10 seeds. Both games are single elimination, and the 2 winners will then face off at the same host site shortly after. After that second round matchup, the winner advances in the championship bracket. The loser enters the consolation bracket. The remainder of the tournament for both classes will be played in the Albuquerque Rio Rancho area from May 15th through the 17th. With that being said, let's look at Class 4A. The number 1 team in this year is from down south, the Silver Colts. Silver Softball is watching the show. Shout out to them. Congratulations, ladies. Silver has only given up a total of 2 runs in their last 9 games. Silver's first-year head coach is preaching to his group to not look too far ahead.
We've all been around sports long enough that we know that anything can happen, especially at the state tournament. So we'll focus. Our message even this year is our next game is the most important game, and we're gonna stick with that mentality and just one game at a time.
Reveal the bracket. Silver will face Valencia, the 16 seed. Kirtland Central is the 8 and St. Pius the 9. Goddard is your 5, going up against Miyamura the 12. Aztec is the 4 and Albuquerque Academy the 13. Lovington earned a 3 seed and will take on Moriarty the 14. Los Alamos is the 6 and Bernalillo is your 11. Defending state champ Gallup is the 7 seed, going up against Bolin the 10. Artesia is the 2 seed and will take on Deming the 15. For the last couple spots in this bracket, there was a 3-way tie between Deming, Valencia, and Portales. Deming won the 3-way tie, and then when you matched up Valencia and Portales in criteria points, Valencia came out ahead with a better finish in district, overall record, and wins against district champs. They did not play head-to-head. So Valencia is in as the 16 and Portales is out. The final softball bracket of the show is Class 5A. It's tough to argue who gets number one when a team is undefeated. Congratulations, Centennial Hawks. They earned the number one seed. Centennial is the defending state champ, and they come into the postseason with an undefeated record. They are perfect 25 games into the season. Let's jump into the 5A bracket. Centennial is the 1 and will face El Dorado the 16. Los Lunas is the 8 seed and Etrisco Heritage the 9. They'll match up. Mayfield is the 5 seed and will meet Sandia the 12. Carlsbad earned a 4 and will meet up with Hobbs the 13 seed. Cibola is the 3 and will take on Albuquerque High the 14. Alamogordo is a 6 seed and Rio Rancho the 11. Piedra Vista is a 7 seed going up against Las Cruces the 10. By the way, shout out to the Las Cruces softball team. They told me they're watching right now. La Cueva earned the number 2 seed and will take on Oregon Mountain the 15. You know, Cibola only has 1 senior and 6 juniors, so you can expect next year's team to be pretty experienced. This year's group just never gives up.
My old high school coach, I'm from Farmington, so my high school coach came to watch us in Farmington, play Farmington PV. And he said something to me. He texted me after our PV game. He said, your team is a team that never says die. And that really is how I see them. They just never give up. And if they never give up, when we talked about this, you'll lose when you stop trying. And that's really how they are playing games. They're going to continue to try until that last out is made.
We are halfway home on this show. Now let's talk some baseball and start in Class A. The top of the class this year is Magdalena High School. Magdalena earned the number 1 spot by way of those criteria points. Magdalena last won it all in 1990. Even at number 1, Magdalena feels like they've been flying under the radar.
We're kind of a sleeper team. I think we're a team that nobody really expected to, be in this position except for us. I've had the same core of guys, year after year. It's like somebody lit a fire under us. Last year I did have 4 or 5 starters down due to injury. We lost in the quarters to Melrose, who ended up winning it back-to-back years. They actually knocked us out both of those years. So we do have the experience. The guys that did have injuries came back and they felt what it was like to have to sit out a year. And, they kind of came back with a little fire lit under them. And we just take it game by game, day by day, and here we are.
Here is Class 1A baseball. Magdalena will get the winner of the 4-5 game. Defending state champ Melrose is the 4 and Grady the 5. Last year's state runner-up Logan is a 3 seed and will take on the 6 Elida. The winner will face Gateway Christian, who earned the 2 seed. Gateway Christian last won it all in 2019. On to Class 2A, and the top team in 2025 is the Eunice Cardinals. Eunice played in the state final last year. They last won it all in 2022. Congratulations, Cardinals. Let's look at the bracket. Eunice, Santa Rosa, Hozo Academy, and Mesilla Valley Christian are your top 4 teams. They all get a first-round bye. Raton is the 8 and McCurdy the 9. The winner will face Eunice. Loving is the 5 and Texaco is the 12. Rehoboth Christian is the 6 seed and Tucumcari the 11. Defending state champ Oak Grove is the 7 seed and Laguna Acoma the 10. Rehoboth Christian beat Oak Grove in criteria points, so they earned the 6 and Oak Grove the 7. The Rehoboth Christian Tucumcari winner will advance to play Hozo Academy. And I'll tell you what, in just a short period of time, Hozo Academy has built themselves into a contender.
We were a little under the radar last year, but after we came back from Las Cruces and played Magdalena, which was number 1 seed in the 1A right now, pulled off a win with them, a couple other key victories. I don't feel like we're under the radar anymore.
Let's talk 3A baseball. The number 1 team this year in Class 3A is New Mexico Military Institute. Congratulations, you earned the top spot. New Mexico Military Institute won it all back in 2022. Now let's look at the bracket. The top 4 teams all get a bye, and they are New Mexico Military Institute, East Mountain the 2, Robertson the 3, and St. Michael's the 4. Cobre is the 8 seed and will take on Sandia Prep. The winner moving on to face New Mexico Military Institute. West Las Vegas is a 5 and gets Navo Prep the 12. Tularosa is a 6 and will see Ruidoso the 11 in the opening round. Santa Fe Indian School is a 7 seed and will take on Hatch Valley the 10. Now, St. Michael's had an advantage over Tularosa in Max Prep strength of schedule, but West Las Vegas had the advantage over Tularosa in criteria points by a 3-1 count. So West Las Vegas is the 5 and Tularosa the 6. When we reached the 8 seed spot, there was a 3-way tie between Cobre, Sandia Prep, and Hatch Valley. Cobre earned the 8 and went in over Hatch Valley because they had the criteria point advantage. Sandia Prep was the 9 because they had criteria point advantage over Hatch Valley. So Hatch got in as a 10. West Las Vegas reached the final last season and returned all but one player from last year's state runner-up squad. They reached the final as an 8 seed and hope to get to that final game again, this time with a different number.
It's really 3 messages, or most of the time, a couple of messages, and one is chasing it. Chase the dream, because it won't chase you back. And I tell them that's the one thing that you could really fight for is just chasing that dream. And number 2 is, if you use the game of baseball and learn the game of baseball, it teaches you the game of life. And that's something I've always preached to them. And with that in itself can give them the opportunity to have the success that they need and the success that they deserve. We've been looking for some success at the green and gold for a while, and we're hoping that this year can be the year.
On to Class 4A. The school that earned the number 1 seed is known for success in football and boys basketball this year. That's right, I'm talking about the Artesia Bulldogs. Artesia is number 1. Artesia baseball reached the final last season. Artesia's motto this year is "Don't flinch."
It's don't flinch. It's that simple. Don't flinch. We want to be emotionless, and we don't want to show our emotions. Hey, the umpire called that outside fastball a strike on you. So what? Next pitch, we need you here on the next pitch. Now it's a 1-2 count. Get in your 2-strike approach. Let's go. And so those are some things that we talk about is don't flinch. Don't flinch. Control what you can.
Let's look at the 4A bracket. Artesia is the 1 and will face Bernalillo the 16. Valley is 8 and Hope Christian the 9. Los Alamos is your 5 seed and Goddard the 12. Belen is the 4 seed and Chaparral the 13. Albuquerque Academy, the Chargers, you are a 3 seed going up against Lovington, the 14. Bloomfield a 6 and Deming dropped to an 11. More on that in just a moment. Defending state champ Grants is the 7 and Santa Teresa the 10. St. Pius is your 2 seed and Kirtland Central the 15. Now, Deming tied for first in their district and tied in criteria points with Santa Teresa 3-3, but Santa Teresa won the head-to-head tiebreaker. Deming was actually 6th in the coaches poll and Max Preps, but Santa Teresa, again, won that head-to-head tiebreaker. So Deming couldn't get into the bracket until Santa Teresa got in first, and Santa Teresa didn't get in until the 10 spot. Also, there was a 3-way tie for the number 6 seed between Bloomfield, Grants, and Valley. Bloomfield came out of the tie on top, so they earned the 6 seed. Grants beat Valley in criteria points, so Grants was 7 and Valley the 8. Last but not least is the Class 5A baseball bracket. The number 1 team is the squad that was number 1 at the end of last season, the La Cueva Bears. La Cueva earned the top seed. The Bears only have 3 losses on the year, and they're the defending state champs. One of their strengths is depth on the bump.
We've been fortunate. Pitching depth has been a plus for us, and that's usually when you go 3 games in 3 days, and and you got the pitch counts, that we've had the last, 10 years or so now. It makes you have to develop a few guys along the way.
Here is the final bracket. La Cueva is the 1. They will host Las Cruces, the 16. Volcano Vista is the 8 and Los Lunas the 9. Shout out to Los Lunas Tigers watching the show. El Dorado is your 5 seed and will host Oregon Mountain. Last year's state runner-up Cleveland is the 4 seed and will meet up with Mayfield, the 13. Carlsbad is the 3 and will host Cibola, the 14. Sandia is your 6 and Piedra Vista the 11. Those 2 teams will meet. Centennial's the 7 seed and will take on Rio Grande the 10. Rio Rancho is the 2 seed, and the Rams will host Farmington, the 15. Now, Oregon Mountain beat Mayfield in criteria points, so the Knights earned the 12 and the Trojans the 13. It was the same situation between Los Lunas and Rio Grande in district. Los Lunas beat the Ravens in criteria points, so the Tigers are the 9 seed and Rio Grande the 10. There you have it, all the brackets. Remember, it's digital ticketing for the postseason. You can purchase your tickets from the quarterfinals and on by going to gofan.co. Don't forget, you can watch the state championship games on the NFHS network. So get a subscription and log on so you can watch the championship matchups. That's going to do it for the Nusenda Credit Union Baseball and Softball Seating and Selection Show. To all the parents and fans out there, let's remember to respect the opponent and respect the officials. And let's show good sportsmanship from the stands. Good luck to all the teams involved, and remember to compete with class.